Alright everyone, something different today, something actually very exciting to talk about that has been kind of popping up throughout the day today and kind of there in the background for about a month now. Um, there was a rumor that a new, well no, not a new, a old EA IP was going to get like a new entry or some kind of return in a way, and people were kind of wondering what it could be. And one of the bigger, well-known franchises that EA have done that hasn't really seen any kind of game or any kind of mention for a long time is Dead Space. The whole Dead Space series, in fact. First game and second game are amazing. The third one, there's conflict about whether that's good or not. I enjoyed it purely because I get to play it with a friend. But 1 and 2 are kind of like the big kind of 1 and 2. Like, if you play Dead Space, 1 and 2 are just kind of in your brain purely because of just they were genuinely scary, especially at the time they came out. I was quite young. I was in my teens, so playing playing these games was genuinely quite scary. I'm kind of like used to that kind of thing now, but at the time, it was a whole different thing, and it was amazing. But anyway, moving on. So people were kind of expecting it to be Dead Space, and it seems like that might be the case from a couple of things that have kind of come up today. More importantly, at least I think it's been today. Apparently, the next Dead Space, or Dead Space 4, is actually going to be a remake of the original. This is coming from apparently some reliable sources. I don't know who. I just saw it myself and I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Dead Space 1 is obviously the first in the series, obviously, and it's probably the more horror focused one of the lot of them, I would say. I believe the first one's a bit more scary than the second and the third. That's my personal opinion, at least. But obviously, if you're gonna remake any game in the series, it might as well be the first one to start with, and maybe if they see success from that, they can make a remake of the second game. Again, people may feel kind of differently about this. Some people may have wanted a new game, completely new game, which in a sense is happening. If you remember, last year I believe there was an announcement of a game called the Callisto Protocol, or the Callisto Project, one or two, which is in development and was made by the people who did make Dead Space. So, it might not be a Dead Space game, but that's the next best thing, I guess. If you got the guys who made Dead Space in the first place making a new horror game, it's probably a big bet that it's going to feel like Dead Space. But, no, this is going to be a remake of the original, apparently. And things seem to suggest that EA are kind of like doing this because of the success of the Resident Evil remakes, 2 and 3. Well, more 2 than 3. But Resident Evil 2 remake is known and talked about as probably one of the best video game remakes ever. And that's not just me saying it because I'm a Resident Evil fan. You can look online and you'll see everywhere saying Resident Evil 2 is like the perfect remake. Alongside Final Fantasy 7. They're like the two big remakes in the world that everyone just kind of loves. And with good reason. Resident Evil 2 remake is amazing. I love it. I've played it through God knows how many times. So, it's a big deal that this is getting remade. Now, the topic of this being remade is an interesting thing because, for me, this game falls under the Resident Evil 4 remake discussion. Like, does it really need a remake? Because if you look at the gameplay now, like, this is the third-person shooter. It was on like PS3 and I believe for Xbox 360 and PC, and then the second game was also on PS3, maybe PS4. I don't know. The release dates do kind of lose me. I don't really remember the release dates of these games. But regardless of the fact, it came out around the time, I believe around the time of Resident Evil 4. And people do say, does that game really need a remake? Because you can play Resident Evil 4 today and it'll look good, it looks good, it plays good. And it just kind of holds up, and that's the same here. Like you go back and play this game, it's a third-person shooter with horror elements, and it plays nicely. It looks good. Now, obviously, Resident Evil 4 remake does seem to be happening, and there is obviously concern there that the game is kind of losing some of its charm with like the lines in the game and the tone and the gameplay. Again, I do kind of have hope that Capcom do know what they're doing with that one because people hold it in such high regards that messing that up is going to cause them an issue. But I think they're going to be very careful with it, especially after the response of the 3 remake, which they outsourced to a different team to do, where the 2 remake was actually remade internally by Capcom themselves, so maybe they're gonna give 4 Remake the love that the 2 Remake got, just to kind of be sure they're doing it right. But enough about Resident Evil. Let's talk about Dead Space now before I lose track. So yeah, the Dead Space remakes are entirely kind of inspired, in quotes, by the Resident Evil remakes that do exist. And it's interesting, you know, there's definitely potential for it to be better than what it was. Obviously, you know, visually upgraded, could be really good. Gameplay will get a bit smoother, obviously run a bit better. And, you know, it's a good way to, because the series has been gone for so long, I feel like this makes more of a sense to remake than Resident Evil 4. Purely because, you know, last month, a new Resident Evil game came out. When was Dead Space 3 released? Long time ago. There hasn't been a new game for a while. I don't know how long specifically, but it's been a while. Whereas Resident Evil, there's a game every few years. You know, they make a game every few years, and you know they sell. But Dead Space kind of disappeared after 3. Again, you know, different opinions from people about 3, but this is their chance to do something here. Like if they remake 1 and just purely make it a visual upgrade with, you know, better controls, better AI, maybe some extra things. I believe that the 2 remake had extra things in, like obviously the Ada sequence and the Sherry sequence in the 2 remake was a thing. They could do that in here. They don't want to cut anything out. I think cutting things out is kind of a waste of time. Look at 3 remake, people don't like it because big chunks of the game were cut and things were changed. But you know, don't cut out anything. Keep it the original. Keep it as close to the original as possible. Tweak it. Add things if you feel like you want to make sense, because you know there's room to add things into the story, I'm sure. But you don't want to be changing this game because people love these games. More importantly, again, the first 2, because I don't know what it was about 3 that people didn't like. I think it's because it leaned more into action, like the Resident Evil 6 curse. And I know I keep like referencing the 2 as similar, but at the end of the day, they're both horror games, they're both shooters, and you know, in a sense they are the same, just one's in space and one is not. But they could really do something with this. But I'm just reporting like I am genuinely excited to see what it might be. I believe the EA event is this month, possibly. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really follow EA event times and stuff like that. But no, if it is the case, if it's true, awesome. Can't wait. Honestly, we'll play that game to death again. I played the first 2 to death. Played through the 3rd one a couple of times as well. I think I'll be a couple of friends of mine who've never actually played these games, so it'll be awesome to, you know, see if they're interested in playing them. Because the first 2 are kind of memorable. I remember a lot of points in these games that kind of I loved. And some of the things you can do in the game, which is awesome. Like obviously the slow-mo stuff you can do. I don't remember what it's called. I haven't played the game in years, so you have to kind of forgive me on that. But a lot of what you can do in this game is super cool. So, for anyone out there who is interested in maybe playing a remake of the original and just being able to experience Dead Space, damn, let me tell you now, it's going to be a blast. Like, if you haven't played these games before and have just seen people play them or heard of them, then if the remake comes out and it is a carbon copy, but if it's super close to the original, you will not regret it. You'll love it. And for people who have played these games before, like me, and I'm sure many other people who are interested in what EA are going to be doing, you're going to love it too. Because as long as they just keep to the material they have, and just, even if it is just a straight up visual upgrade, and that's it. Like, if that's it, that's fine. Because this game is just good. Like, it's just good, okay? But yeah, I just wanted to cover on this, because it's something that's come up more prominently in the, you know, the past couple of days now. I am super excited to see what happens. If you are too, then leave some comments down below. Do let me know. I will be doing another kind of coverage video in a couple of days of a Resident Evil game that has very slim details about it right now, but I do keep seeing it come up, so I have looked into it as best I can. We'll be doing a video on that over the weekend, maybe tomorrow. Depends on scheduling for me personally. But yeah, this is going to do it. That's Best Remake. Let me know what you think about that. Whether you played the game or not. Again, I do want to hear your thoughts. You know, if you played the game, let me know what you want to see with the remake. and if you haven't played the game, save a lot if you're excited. As always, anything that comes from this, I'll be posting it as soon as possible. Hopefully this month we'll find out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more kind of survival horror content, news, all that kind of cool stuff. And I'll see you all in the next one.